Hello, good morning. Happy Saturday. Or maybe it's Sunday for you. I don't know. But same time, same. Last week we didn't have this normal because it was a source-a-thon. But you saw us. You saw Mags a lot. I was kind of scarce last weekend.
Were you scared? Scared or scarce?
Scarce. You only saw me a couple times. But here we are again.
We are back. We actually didn't leave. We were here. We just weren't doing this.
Mm-hmm.
Hello, Oregon. Flo.
We have Thomas, Kathy, Lynette, Donna, Charles, John, Kay, Alesh, Tommy, Nancy, and Flo from Oregon. I don't know if Flo, I don't know if that's your name or there's another name, but hello, Flo. Whenever I think of Flo, I think of the Flo from that one commercial.
Oh, yeah. Oh, is that the one with the Palmolive? Is that Flo?
No, the insurance commercial. I think it's.
Oh, Progressive.
Yes, Progressive. There we go.
And then there's Flo from Moe's Diner.
Oh,
yeah.
Yes.
And Flo from Black Forest. Florian.
There's two Flo's.
Straub says.
We have June and Janine.
New Hampshire. Tori and Flo, the Norwegian striker. Hello, but not the same, Flo says. She is an individual. She is herself.
Yes.
I like that.
Oh, Patricia from Kentucky. We have Alexis. Hi, Alexis.
Hey,
we always love looking at your stuff that you upload.
Yes, we do.
So we have a pretty interesting question.
Hello,
my kitty cat.
We have a pretty
she's come to say hello.
Cat. She gets jealous. I think it's hilarious. I mean, Sarah and I have been sitting here. We've been chatting a little bit, and Kiki's been on the windowsill behind her. And as soon as the music comes on, Kiki jumps down, runs around, and gets up in Sarah's lap because she doesn't like. She's jealous. She is jealous.
She ignores me the rest of the time.
Yeah.
But when I'm live, she wants to be part of it.
So we should add Kiki to the list of our hosts.
Kiki, hostess Kiki.
Yeah, that's fun. A mango pineapple smoothie while watching.
Ooh, I have my coffee with cats on it.
Happy Canadian Thanksgiving, Greg Clark. Yes.
Well, that is. Is that actually today? Or
it's actually officially Monday, but it's today, tomorrow, and Monday. I'm eating at my sister-in-law's house on Sunday and my best friend's house on Monday.
Look, it's my mom.
Hey, Joe.
Then we also had Leslie from Arizona, Greg, Kirsten from Brighton, United Kingdom, Peggy,
Dallas,
Charles. Hello, Flo from Mel's Diner, says Charles.
Woohoo! K-Night can drink coffee again. We're excited for you, Kay, because
that is always exciting. Coffee is important.
You know what? We have a really crazy, cool question of the week, and I'm just going to get right to it.
And please, and I also, if any of you have anything to add, please put it in the chat and we can share it.
Yeah, throw it in the chat, and Sarah will throw it up on screen while we're going. I'll start with the Wikitree Facebook page. If you have the time, you can go over there and read these. So what unusual jobs have you found in your research? A lot of people just talked about some ordinary jobs that today would be unordinary, like blacksmiths are kind of unordinary today, but they weren't unordinary back in the day. So that kind of thing went on, but we're going to talk about as many of them as we can. My third grandfather was a competitor of Ulysses S. Grant in the saddle making business for a couple of years. That's from Travis Henderson. From Sharon Albright Moeller. Not unusual, but found many artists and have original work from an uncle. A great aunt put tints on black and white photos to give them that little bit of color. I love that kind of colorizing the photos. I don't like this new colorizing thing, but I love it when there's like the artistic tinting. That's pretty cool from Suham Carta. Lori Mandragon says that I have several. A third great grandparent who immigrated from Prussia to New York City gave his occupation as a passementeer. Don't know how to pronounce that. John Tyner's got coach builders. A casementery, a fringe weaver. Nancy Wilson's got lots of day laborers. And June says my great grandfather was the last shoemaker or the last shoelaster in Manchester, New Hampshire before the mills took over. How cool is that? Husband's ancestor was a whip maker from Donna Dawson. Richard Mason Williams says dining room or dinning room. Turned out to be boarding house that housed men. That's pretty cool, and fed people from surrounding houses. K Knight says, I didn't answer, but remember finding a pig killer who worked at the slaughterhouse in the Midwest. Yeah, K's from a long line of pig killers. That's crazy. One of my great-grandfathers was a cigar maker in Chicago. That's from Don Volkman. Ron Wyatt, farmer many, many, many times over. Pevoir, I hadn't heard of it anyway. It means someone who lays pavers. That's cool. A hand chairman. And a hand chairman is, we don't know. John Tyner says that his ancestors built the Queen's Irish state coach. That's pretty cool. Let's see. Laurie Forrest says, I was helping a friend with his family history and found one article on his relatives. He called the person a yegg. A yegg is a synonym for burglar. Huh. And then Cheryl Plunk. Now, I read this wrong. I thought it said my grandmother pickled worms, but she picked worms.
Imagine eating pickled worms.
No, pickled worms. No. I was just talking to somebody about pickled garlic. Okay, on to the G to G feed. There's lots of really fun stuff. A few comments here. Blacksmith was a Teuton from Luxgitstall, Nordbrand. A Teuton were traveling copper pot peddlers. Members was a Doffer, one that retrieved empty bobbins from textile mills. Now, as a fun show and tell, I have brought a bobbin from my grandfather's. He was a plant engineer at Lawrence Mill in Lawrence, South Carolina, and I brought one of the bobbins from his mill. How cool is that? And the thread would wind around the cotton thread. There's even cotton dust in this one. And this one actually has a crack in it. So I'm sure that is why it was pulled from production and why my grandfather had it. But it's just so cool. And it's worn down from years and years and years of use in that cotton mill. Anyway, the cotton mill had a really interesting smell, and I have his chest from his office at the cotton mill. And every time I open the drawers of that chest, it smells like the cotton mill. Let's see. Thomas Kerneland answered the G to G, but the Kerneland family were from numerous generations all icemen, owned one of the first artificial ice companies in the Midwest and shipped all over the region. That is cool. 17-year-old girl in the census occupation works out. Now, this is funny. She said, sadly, she had 0 followers on her Instagram account. Sarah's doing her curls right now. Here's one I've run across recently, but it's come up more than once. A colorman. And a colorman is the guy who mixed paint. And back then, the paint was full of toxic stuff. So, Shirlea, we're appreciative of your sacrifice of your family. Not my relatives, but 2 neighbors were bundlers in bone factories. And I think that speaks for itself. Joyce Vander Bogart. That's pretty interesting. Dieter Lawrence, there's your comment. And he says that he has ancestors of his mother who were Nallenmacher. His last name was Schmalze or Schmalzlin. I've not been able to find out his first name yet. He was buried in Schmalkalden, of course. And when I read his profession, I could not do anything with the word and thought Schnallenmacher, buckle maker, or Nagelmacher, nail maker. Interesting. what he made was teddy bears. That's so cute. Nancy Wilson's grandfather was a typesetter. My finger stinger, this is from Barry Smith Ancestors, started the first glassworks in the USA. That's pretty cool. Mechanic in 1835, which baffled me for quite a while. He kept wagons in shape. That's from Kathy Forbes. From Thomas Kerneline, we've already seen yours. That's great. David Preston Foley listed in the 1870 census as working on a steamboat. And he's listed as a vial cleaner at Furnace. That's pretty cool. That's Janine Eiselman. I wish I could take credit for finding them, but there are some unusual occupations listed in the various censuses. And I pulled that up. If you go to Legacy Tree, they have a couple. Whorehouse Pimp is one of them. And Oliver Butts worked at a pettit fogger. Presumed
What is that?
What's that?
What is a petty fogger?
Running around. William is a pettit fogger, is a lawyer whose methods are petty, underhanded, and disreputable. So that's interesting if you guys want to run over there and look at that. The link is in this G2G post here from Roger Strong. George Farnsworth Moody was a scene painter, mainly in Masonic temples, and he wanted to be a camouflage painter during World War I. That's interesting. Third time great-grandfather's occupation was listed as maker of dugout war canoes. That's fascinating. Alex Atkins Langan. Those canoes were massive and could fit over 100 people and were built to withstand ocean travel. Marianne Memot. Albert Terhune from the Netherlands. His family's wealth had been lost, and he wished to recoup their ruined fortune and once more own a rich estate. He became a ribbon weaver. Now, I don't know how he was planning on getting back the family fortune doing that, but there you go. Z. Tyler, volunteer research job. So it was not my own family. The person's ancestor in question was a golf club maker. He even made golf clubs for the Emperor of Japan. That's crazy. And Z. Tyler also found a palm reader. My 2 times great-great-grandfather was an underhand puddler. He worked in Staffordshire, England, in the iron industry. Puddling was done in reverberatory furnaces in which the iron came into contact with the flame alone. These furnaces processed 2 doors, through the larger of which the furnace was charged with, while the smaller was used by the puddler when he stirred or worked the iron. That's crazy. That was from M. Ross. I can't imagine how hot that would be. 1865, Brooklyn, New York. Occupation, night scavenger. One who cleans cesspools, latrines, and privies. Night soil refers to human waste.
Night scavenger reminds me of vampire.
Yeah,
yeah.
Laurie Donahue. That's pretty cool. Adrian Hazelton, while doing research on my friend, my ancestor, Massachusetts, was a fresco painter. Tommy Buck says his father was a cold typesetter in 1986 when the first Mac was purchased. Boy, that's kind of like ironic, isn't it? That's very ironic. Newspapers found a great uncle who raised skunks. Female ancestor who was a rag picker, which I found very sad when I found out that it's a person who picks up rags and other waste material from the streets, refuse heaps for a livelihood. A great-grandmother was a teenage lion tamer. Monica Edmonds, that's craziness.
I wonder if they used a whip that the other ancestor made.
Yeah, okay. Sorry. Scrolling for you. Maker of nets in Lyon, France. Worked for the railroad, moved engines, so he was a hustler. That's from John Bristow. Olaf Sorensen found somebody who was a magnetic healer in 1905. That was a big thing, the spiritual movement. Yeah. Wallpaper hanger, not an unusual job, but having a paper hanger for 4 generations might be, from Luding Perry. Just see, a goat dairy. I've forgotten what it was. Allison, that's a long one. I'm not going to read it.
I just
Woo!
saw one phrase. It said, wrote a wild mushroom recipe book, and that one long one.
That's crazy. Translator and a teacher, Braille translator and a teacher of Esperanto. That kind of goes along with the 1905 time frame with that spiritualism. Grandfather Charles William Truman was a jet worker. He worked with black fossilized wood that was fashionable by Queen Victoria. That's Philip Truman. North Wales straw maker, Anon Dell. Willie Felch was a clamor on the flats of Seabrook. Jim Bookham, my friend in New Jersey, was a motorcycle globe rider during the Holocaust. Oh my gosh, that is crazy. Have you ever seen those? They like put 3 or 4 people in a globe and that's crazy. Lynette Jester, my mama was a bomb girl. Pure liquid TNT. She poured liquid TNT into warheads. Let's see. A fly proprietor. A fly is a light-drawn public passenger vehicle or delivery wagon, but it sounds good. A fly proprietor. A lamplighter, K. Harrison Williams, was a cooper, Marion Cerruti. A straw worker in Milford. That's from Kathy Carroll. Pipe smoking great aunt Emmeline Swingler took over her late husband's junkyard in England. That's pretty cool. Malcolm McNamara. A French polisher, a polisher of French people. That's a process of applying many thin coats of shellac to furniture. That's from Janet Gunn. Elaine Fiveland, a friend of mine, was a feather dyer in New York. Kathy Schutler was metalworks, metal spinner at the time, making good money. So he's a metal spinner. Carol Kernick, a Scottish ancestor, was a American maker. He took apprentices on and discovered that he was a maker of shoes of Moroccan leather, I believe is supposed to be. Perry Hilbert, one census record found that somebody was a bone turner. They made stabs that were shipped out to other companies. So they were making stabs for something. Like many others, some of my ancestors worked in the cotton mills. There we go. There's that bobbin again. Joined jobs with several names. Gypsy of the family. Show folk. Okay. Then on to the third page of these. I'm going to start at the bottom because the one at the very top is the one that's going to segue. So a tin maker in a Cornish mine from Jenny Johnston. Pig inspector or pig warren from Donald Sylvan. While working the England Orphan Trail, Kathy Carroll found a family of needle makers. Let's see, this one comes from Say It As It Is department. A distant relative of my wife was detained, I think. Hackney Workhouse in North London. Under occupation, it read quite clearly, prostitute. And the reason for detention? Syphilis. Donna Bauman says, my other grandmother was a matron in a female prison. She was about 4'10", so it must have been not have been dangerous. Or no, she probably was a force to reckon with. That's my call on that. And Alyssa Mayfield, my grandmother's tools of the trade was an acoustic Martin guitar. She made a career of traveling the country, storytelling, and singing folk music. I listened to her music every morning on my way to work. Sarah, how is that?
I know, that's like perfect. Because our profiles of the week are folk singers. And look who just joined us, Chris. Chris just joined us. Chris F. Oh, but before I do that, so while you were reading the question of the week, somebody was asking about the final stats for the Source-a-thon. So I think we could talk about that real quick.
It was not my guess.
What was your guess again?
84,690.
We got the final total was 56,972, with the Virginia sorcerers #1. And then who had the most? Leandra Ford was #1 with the most source profile. Look, Pip's up there, and Emma, and Sandy, and Maddie. A bunch of people. So that was the stats for the source-a-thon. There should be a G2G post kind of wrapping it up. But I haven't seen it yet, but usually happens within a week or so of the source-a-thon. Okay, now, oops. Folk musicians. So our main featured folk musician is Joe Hill, and his birthday was, oh my goodness, on October 7th, so which was the Wednesday when we featured all of them.
And you are 30 degrees from Joe Hill through your dad. Joe, sorry.
So he changed his name to Hill, but was formerly Haglund. How would you pronounce that? I think Thomas could help me with that.
Yeah.
So he immigrated to North America in 1902. He learned English while working various jobs. During that time as an immigrant worker, he found himself frequently unemployed or underemployed and started writing songs and drawing cartoons to support labor unions. He also used the alias Joseph Hillstrom. He was accused of murder, and though he was most likely innocent, he was convicted and found guilty. Just prior to his execution, Joe had written to Bill Haywood, "Goodbye, Bill. I died like a true blue rebel. Don't waste any time in mourning. Organize." And they actually died in Salt Lake City, Utah. So that's pretty interesting. Look, don't mourn, organize. This last thing he wrote for his execution. Well, it's pretty interesting. We just learned some interesting things with these people. Okay, so next we have Woody Guthrie, or Woodrow Wilson Guthrie, born in 1912 in Oklahoma. He was an American folk musician, believed to have written more than 1,000 folk-type songs. Apparently, Woody's younger sister, Clara, was killed in an oil stove explosion. And his mother, Nora, developed Huntington's chorea and later died in a state asylum. And Woody died from Huntington's disease. He's survived by his 2 daughters. He died in October 3rd, so also this month, in 1967.
You are 18 degrees from him again, through your dad.
Ooh. Usually through my dad. My closest connections through my dad.
And I'm 17 degrees from Woody, probably through my mother. Let me look. Nope, actually through my dad. Fun.
So next we have Peter Seeger, born in Pete Seeger, or Peter. His middle initial is V, but I guess we're uncertain what the V stands for. Born in 1919 in New York. His parents were Charles Seeger, a Harvard-trained composer and musicologist and founder of the American Musicologist Society, as well as the academic discipline of ethnomusicology. And Constance Edson, a concert violinist and Juilliard School of Music teacher. So he had a lot to live up to. Pete had deep Christian American roots, tracing his ancestry to Germany and the American Revolution. He's best remembered as an American folk singer and activist, regularly heard on nationwide radio in the 1940s. He was a member of the Weavers, most notably the recording of Lead Belly's "Goodnight, Irene." And he died in 2014 on January 27th in New York as well. Next on our list, Melvina Reynolds, born 1900 in California. She was an American folk blues singer, songwriter, and political activist. best known for her songwriting, particularly the songs Little Boxes and What Have They Done to the Rain. Let's see.
You are 26 degrees from Melvina through your father.
Oh. So, while she was doing graduate work, she did some student teaching in which she used pop songs to teach her high school students about rhyme scheme and meter, as they were not poetry readers. So that's cool. I guess that's kind of what this, maybe not, 66-year-old speaks language of younger generation. I don't know if that's related, but.
Joe says that she's 25 degrees from Joan Baez on her mom's side.
And apparently she was in 1997 an associate of the Women's Institute for Freedom of the Press, nonprofit publishing organization. Next we have Paul Robeson. Born in 1898 in New Jersey, died in 1976 in Philadelphia. He was an American bass singer and actor. Go ahead.
22 degrees from your mom's side.
Oh my goodness. That's pretty cool. He was an American bass singer and actor who became involved with the U.S. Civil Rights Movement. His distinctive, powerful, deep bass voice was best known in Showboat, and his rendition of Old Man River became the benchmark for all future performances of the song.
Yes, it did.
He was blacklisted in the 1950s because of his sympathies to Stalin and the Soviet Union. Apparently, his mother was from a prominent Quaker family of mixed ancestry, African, Anglo-American, and Lenape. And then he died in Philly at the age of 77 from complications of a stroke. Very cool. Seems like an interesting guy.
Yeah, it is. I can hear his Old Man River in my ears right now. I'm going to have a brain, or what is it, a earworm now.
Pickled worm?
Yeah, pickled worm earworm. Old Man River, a pickled worm singing Old Man River.
Next we have Paul Simon, who was a short little bio, born on October 13th. So just his anniversary coming up. 1941 in New Jersey. And he was part of the Simon and Garfunkel duo. So there you go. He was Simon and Garfunkel. That's all we got on him. He's there. Next we have Hedwig, but I didn't like her. West. We're in 1938 in Georgia. She was an American folk singer and songwriter playing both guitar and banjo, best known for the song 500 Miles.
She's my closest through my mom.
Am I pretty close to her too?
You are probably 20 degrees from Hetty West through your dad.
So West began performing at folk festivals in her teen years, winning a prize for ballad singing in Nashville, Tennessee in the mid 1950s, and she studied first at West Carolina College and then later at Mannes College and Columbia University in New York.
Yeah, she grew up around where my family is from.
And she knew our other one, Pete Seeger. There
you go.
And
Thomas Kerlon says he's currently teaching himself to play 500 Miles on the banjo.
That's cool. Did he tell me how to pronounce this
Eddie?
one? This one? Haglund?
Yeah, Haglund.
Okay. Apparently, in 1970, West, she moved to Germany, where she was wed a third time Then she moved back to New York, and she died in Philly in 2005.
Thank you, Thomas Kerneline, for putting that profile together last week. That's great. I love the community collaborative nature of WikiTree.
Yes, I agree. We're all a big family, like John said before. The sun is like beaming in my face right now. So next on our list we have Joan Baez. Baez. Born on January 9th, 1941 in New York. American folk singer, songwriter, musician, and activist. Her folk music often includes songs of protest and social justice. She's fluent in Spanish and English and has recorded songs in at least 6 other languages.
Now, even though your mom was throwing up her connection to Joan Baez, the connection that WikiTree is showing for you is 26 degrees through your dad.
Yeah, because I'm probably closer to them through my dad than my mom. Probably also connected through my mom, but closer through my dad. Hey.
How do you like being in the spotlight there, Sarah?
Literally in the spotlight.
Somebody turn the sun off for a few minutes, okay?
Please. So next we have Lionel Joaquin Paul Long, born in 1938 in Australia. He was an Australian country and folk singer, songwriter, guitarist, actor, and artist. He became one of Australia's most successful and popular country and folk artists in the 1960s, releasing over a dozen albums. He's also well known for his acting appearances on television programs such as Crawford Productions' Homicide. I know we had 1 or 2 people from Australia here. You guys are familiar with Lionel Long? I have a list of all of his albums. This is the photo of his first album, Waltzing Matilda. And all his TV shows and films, and he got an award. He was awarded the Medal of the Order of Australia in 1993. Service to the performing and visual arts. And he died on January 1st, 1998.
Wow, that's a pretty medal.
Mm-hmm. Next we have Stan Rogers from Canada, born in 1949. Was a Canadian folk musician and songwriter. He spent his childhood summers in Nova Scotia, mainly in his mother's hometown of Canso. He was touring with his brother Garnet and bass player Jim Morrison. Roger filled large halls on Canada's East Coast and headlined folk venues across Canada and the U.S. He died in a fire aboard Air Canada Flight 797 on the ground at Greater Cincinnati Airport.
Wow.
And apparently there is a Stan Rogers Folk Festival held every year in Canso, Nova Scotia.
That's cool.
We have one more. All these folk musicians. We have Emma Overt, born in England in 1838. She was barely literate agriculture laborer. She lived in a small area around the parish of Curry Rivell in Somerset for her entire life. She became well known in this area for her singing. The songs she sang were those she heard and memorized.
Nice.
Mm-hmm. Let's see. Is anybody familiar with her? Her singing?
I'm not.
Oh, look, we have
a YouTube.
There's a YouTube link here. I just want to curious to see what. What's that ad? That. So I guess the song is "Mary of the Wild Moor," song dates back to an 18th century broadside ballad. Has a well-researched history. So she didn't really songwrite. She just sang songs and was well known in the area for that.
There's lots of discussions going on about particular songs that people have done, like 500 Miles. There's lots of conversation after the banjo comment. Thomas Caroline says, yeah, the Stanley Brothers, that's my area of the woods, did that. And then Peter, Paul, and Mary, and everybody's done 500 Miles. That's a good one.
And that was our last one. Okay, now for our favorite, my favorite segment of the, oh my goodness, this is gonna be a good one. Silly is the theme.
What is it?
Silly.
Silly. Oh, fun.
Silly. So let's see. Retirement party caricature.
I have to point out that Thomas Caroline just answered your question. Have we heard of Overt? He knew her before the week, and he wasn't the one who suggested her. She was one of the many old farmers that the folk revivalists discovered and recorded during doing the old British ballads and such. That's kind of cool. That's cute.
Trying to see what is.
It's a water pump, a well pump in the middle, right? I can't tell.
Looks like they're holding their hair.
And do you see what's in this one's lap?
I think it's a dog.
It's a dog.
I wasn't sure. That's why I was zooming in and I opened
Alexis wanted to make sure you saw that.
Oh.
See, you got your puppy.
Dressed as children on a teeter-totter. Oh, they're on a teeter-totter. That's not a well.
Oh, gotcha.
A seesaw. I call it a seesaw, not a teeter-totter. Clowning around. That's cute.
Clowning around. You know, there are a lot of people who are scared of clowns.
Well, with all of the scary stuff that's gone around. I don't know which started first, people's fear of clowns, so then they created horror things of clowns, or horror things of clowns that then led to people being afraid of them.
That's a pretty funny one. He's going to get this on under a faucet.
Oh, Janine uploaded this one. Silly boys.
Oh my. No.
He's like he's doing some contortion. Wow. That hurts me. Unless I think there's two boys. Yeah. I think there's I don't think it's him doing it.
Yeah, he looked way too comfortable.
Yeah. Well, that's a cute one. Actually, a pretty good quality photo, too.
It is. And it's an old photograph, too.
1916.
Yeah. Oh, my. Definitely not a fascinator.
It's like a bandana on her.
It may be that she's going to church.
Is there anything on the...
Taken by family.
Yeah. Family photo archive.
Yeah. Like Greek Orthodox or... Yeah. Pig. Pork with an attitude. That's fun.
Whose ancestor was the pig killer?
Yeah.
Oh, well, that's cute.
That is cute. Dancing in her tutu.
Looks like they're at a sleepover. Something. helping him stand. And I don't know exactly what's going on in this photo.
They used to have a trunk on the back of the cars, and so he's standing on the trunk. That literally was a trunk before they became trunks. And that's where you put your stuff. And he's standing on the little trunk that's holding the spare tire.
I wonder what he's doing, though, why he wants to stand up there. It looks like he's looking at something.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure.
Has he got a camera in his hand?
That's what I'm thinking. It almost looks like he's taking a... So there's two photographers. He's taking a photo of something and then taking a photo of them.
Yeah, that's cute. Brian Lawson.
Well, that's a cute one. But that little bag thing he's holding is almost too big for him.
Bag. He's going fishing.
I don't know what the name of this bag was. What did you say it was?
It's a bag you put the fish in once you're done.
I don't know if there was like a technical term for it. Just fish bag. Looks like he has a cigar in his mouth, a cigarette or something. Or I don't know if it's just the photos conveniently messed up in that area. It's kind of what it looks like.
Oh my! Mixing up his wife or girlfriend.
That's pretty funny.
That just makes you want to laugh. Playing poker?
It looks like it's all her. It looks like the same lady.
Oh,
and
wow.
she's like has mirrors.
That's crazy.
I wonder how that was accomplished in 1915. I wonder if she just like had mirrors or something.
Was that 1915 for real?
Well, it's of her, who was born in 1860.
And died in 1904. So
Wait a second.
Yeah. Yeah.
Wait a second.
That's
so
way
it's a ghost.
Earlier.
This last one. Let's look at the G2Gs, see if there are any explanations for.
A wicker creel basket for fishing. There you go. June Butka coming in.
Wicker, okay. A creel.
A wicker basket creel.
Look, Captain Jack Sparrow.
Nice. And the clown.
Clowning around. We saw that one.
We saw the faucet.
Oh, they were in Japan in this one. Army buddies in Japan. And they were stationed there for the reconstruction.
Recombobulation area. That's funny.
That's one of my mom's favorite words. Discombobulated. I'm discombobulated.
Yeah, this is recombobulated.
Yeah, so this is where you have to go to get undiscombobulated. To get
undiscombobulated. Love it. Oh, and there's the fella. Two of my father, John Miller's students. 1937.
I did a double take. First saw it.
That is really a really top quality photograph. This is my mom being silly. It was taken at my family home. I'm not sure when it was taken. It was scanned in 2010, perhaps at a party for my dad's birthday.
I have no idea who convinced her to put a cloth napkin on her head, but she does look happy. We saw that one.
It's kind of fun that we guess at stuff and then go to G to find out the real story.
Yeah, I like that. I like guessing first and then
getting the real truth. Oh, she's bowing after a performance. That's adorable.
Mm-hmm. The retirement party one. Oh, they were doing a dog pile.
A dog pile. A puppy pile.
Puppy pile. Oh, that photo didn't load. Oh, I didn't see this one.
Oh.
Two great uncles, Hildreth and Vincent, on vacation in New Jersey. They told me silly story. Apparently, the sister told a silly story about her brothers, which probably happened during the same decade this photo was taken. When Vincent learned that Hildred had a hot date one night, as a silly gesture, some may call it as a practical joke, Vincent slipped a slice of Limburger cheese into the pocket of Hildred's jacket.
Oh,
People who like Limburger cheese describe the smell as a pungent aroma. Those who don't like it describe the smell as a horrid stench. A silly story about a silly act. That's funny. Okay. This is my father standing on the trunk of a car, intent on taking a photo of the landscape. His future brother-in-law is pretending to disrupt his photography by pinching him or something similar. Photo was taken in 1932. So we were kind of right, him taking a photo.
Yep. Me in the 7th grade, Brian Lawson.
That's funny. Oh, another photo didn't load. Darn. Aha!
Aha!
Around the turn of the 20th century, trick photography was the rage. This photo, Serena Squire Arwood, and a matching photo of her husband illustrate the technique. The main thing I can't figure out is the variation in the part in her hair across various angles. Maybe they flipped the pictures to get opposite facing views and instead of taking separate views of each.
Huh. Pretty fascinating.
That is cool. Well, those are all our photos, guys.
Well, we have breaking news from York that Hillary Gatsby is not in Wales today. She is in York. Breaking news. And she wants to know how many people are using Rob's app now that I have been beta testing.
Rob's app?
Yeah, it's a new source and citation app.
Let's go look at it.
Let's go look at it.
Just really
quick.
Then
we had a question way back at the very top, and I didn't want to post it till after we were done, wanting to know what the Source-a-thon quick sourcing challenge that's going on right now is. And I'm not familiar with that. And I don't know if you've heard of that.
It was a...
While you're working on that, I'll go back up and see if I can find that specific question.
So can you tell me exactly what Rob... I'm trying to search the app.
What is the Source-a-thon sprint that is going on now?
So there is usually a weekend sprint every so often for sourcing. They have a sourcing sprint every weekend, I believe.
I can find the thing about Rob. It's on the front page, I believe.
Oh, it should be on the app page. Okay, find apps.
I saw it.
Is it called something source? Source something?
It was in one of my family news.
So you guys can see. Tell me what it is. An extension? Wikitree Sourcer? There we go. I found it.
Rob Pavey.
So Wikitree Sourcer is a free browser extension developed by Rob that helps the user to search for sources and cite them, thus saving a lot of time and manual typing. That's cool.
That's good.
So it's an extension. So it's an extension that you have to, is it for just Google? The Chrome. Okay, so it works on Chrome and Firefox. And currently, I guess you can use it on Ancestry, Find My Past, Family Search, DRO, and free BMD sites are supported. Oh, cool. Go check that out.
And Nancy Wilson answered the question about the sourcing sprint. It's just a monthly sourcing challenge for you. There you go is your answer.
Yeah, there are a lot of great.
Sorry, K Knight kind of wrapped up what the app is to use to find sources, create source citations, and create narrative with citations. Kay is one of our fun app developers, and she knows.
We had her on once to show her app that she developed.
We did. And a lot of people are talking about what kind of platforms that they've used it on. To do it. Ancestry reworked their source citations, and it's kind of hard to pick your citation out of those. So that I may have to load it just to be able to use it for Ancestry. I find Family Search's citations easy to grab, and they have the links in them and stuff.
And it's easy to copy too. Like they always have like a thing where you can click and it copies it for you.
Yeah.
Ancestries. That's why if I can, I'll use Family Search if it's there, because then I don't have to think about me creating a source.
All right. Woohoo! Wait, did you change mugs?
Unless there's anything else.
What's your mug?
Huh?
What's your mug? Show us your mug.
It was cat. I showed it. It was cats.
Did I
showed it earlier?
Where was I when you did that?
I don't know. Obviously somewhere else.
Not paying attention. Jeez. Somebody should fire me.
Probably.
Probably.
So, unless anybody has anything else, we looked at some. So check out the different apps. Go read those profiles. Learn something new.
Yes. Has anyone experienced a slowdown on WikiTree? No.
Yes. Yeah, June says June remembers I showing it.
Hey. Well, at least I got to see it since I missed it.
Yeah. Cats.
It's cats.
Well.
Yes.
Well, yes. Until next time.
What's the challenge this month or this week?
Okay. Hold on. My brain.
Get your brain working.
I know. Time moves so quickly that I don't even remember. Okay, this week we're going Shelley Murphy.
Yes.
So check out on Wednesday where we wrap it up. We wrap her up in a nice little bow. And then I think next we have, I'm not sure who exactly is next, but we will be wrapping up Shelley Murphy and kicking off our next guest star.
Ooh. And I'm sure things are going really well. Shelley Murphy's a cool genealogist.
I guess I can see. Let's see if we have any. Do we have any bounty points left yet? Let's see. I'm going to check really quick. We do have some bounty points, so check in on Wednesday to see what bounty points we have gotten.
Chris Ferriello says that it's Roberta Estes next.
Oh, yeah, that is right. I knew she was coming up soon.
She's after Shelley.
Mm-hmm.
All right, cool.
So check out Wednesday wrap up. I'm not sure. I lose track of when Friday date night is. I don't think it was yesterday.
No, I think it's
next Friday. Yes. So Friday date night, next Friday, and then next Saturday. Same time, same place.
I don't know how to point. There we go. Sarah.
No, I mean, I thought I guessed right.
And walk. Yeah, I know. You can never. It's like, yeah. Bye, Joe. Bye, Chris. Bye, John. Bye, Tommy.
Bye, everybody.
Bye, Hillary.